Hi, Ben here from Trident Fly Fishing, and today I'm going to be reviewing a rod that we've gotten so many requests to review, and I'm talking about my absolute favorite 9-foot 8 weight, and that is the Atlas 9-foot 8 weight. Stay tuned to see how it performs. Now, if you're new to the channel and you haven't heard about Atlas, Atlas is a brand new rod brand that was designed by me. So we're not going to give this a true Poseidon score. You're not going to see it in the table because it would just be a little bit unfair for me to rate it against other rods since I'm the one that built this rod. But with that said, we're still going to give you a completely thorough overview as well as go into detail on how it casts at various distances. So let's start with some of the components on this brand new Atlas. Starting at the bottom, we enlarged this fighting butt. A lot of 8 weights have fighting butts that are too small to really be useful. So we took this fighting butt from rods that were much bigger, like 10 and 11 weights. So if you're fighting a fish, you're gonna actually have a great fulcrum in something that's totally useful. The next thing we did was to use a proprietary triangular reel seat. Now, triangular reel seats have an advantage because this ring here doesn't move around. So whenever you're sliding on the reel, you're never gonna have to worry about which position it's in. It just goes on much easier. And of course, we've oversized these rings on the reel seat to make it super easy to lock your reel in place. Moving on up, you're gonna notice a standard Foldwell's grip, and we chose it because it's the best saltwater grip out there. Then as we go up the blank, you'll notice that we've used an unsanded finish, and that's to improve the strength and lower the weight of this rod. So one of the things that I really wanted to do when I was designing this Atlas was to make it super, super lightweight. And we've definitely achieved that. It's got a swing weight of about 70 gram meters squared, which makes it one of the lightest 9-foot 8 weights on the market, bar none. And of course, if you've watched these videos for a long time, you know I like alignment dots, and they're right here. Then as you move on up, you'll notice we spared absolutely no expense on this rod. We've got top of the line Fuji Cerakoil stripping guides and recoil snake guides going up the rest of the way. It is absolutely 100% the most premium componentry that you can get right now. But none of that matters if it doesn't cast really well, which it does. But let's give you some notes from out in the field. So today I'm casting the Atlas with an 8 weight SA bonefish line, which is one of the 3 recommended lines we have for this rod. And the other 2 being SA Grand Slam and SA Titan Taper. We chose the bonefish because it's really sort of the standard for our 8 weight reviews. Now, at 40 feet, you're gonna notice that the Atlas is a fast rod. It's got a ton of power and delivers that line very, very quickly to the target. With that being said, it's got reasonable feel for a rod that is this quick. So you're definitely gonna feel that load, you're gonna get that accuracy, but it's not gonna feel as good in close as some of the softer rods with much softer tips, like the Scott Sector. But I find that 40 feet is probably the least important distance for saltwater fishing, and so we didn't really optimize for those absolute in-close presentation style shots. You can go grab your 6 weight for that. Up next is 60 feet, and this is the bread and butter distance for saltwater fishing. This is gonna be permit, mangrove, snook, and tarpon. Anything that you're gonna wanna throw, that 60-foot distance is about the right distance for saltwater fly fishing. And that's where the Atlas really, really performs well. It's just got great accuracy, great line speed, and it really makes it easy to get your line out there, and it's super, super accurate. And as we move back to 80 feet, this is where the Atlas sort of differentiates itself from a lot of the rods on the market today. We wanted a rod that could make those longer distance casts with ease. And while I just told you that 60 feet is the bread and butter distance, there are a lot of times when, while you're not actually making an 80-foot cast, you're gonna be fighting wind into that 60-foot distance. And that's where having that extra line speed and that extra power is gonna be so beneficial. With the Atlas, it's really, really easy to make accurate long distance presentations. It's just a fantastic rod, even with a bonefish line like this at those longer distances. And if you really want to hypercharge it and make long distance casts all day long, an SA Titan Taper is the perfect pairing. You can easily cast the backing knot every single time. And so As you might expect, I am thrilled about this Atlas. I have fished this rod non-stop across the globe for about a year and a half now. I've caught permit, bonefish, peacock bass, just about everything you could imagine catching on an 8-weight on this new Atlas. I am super, super impressed with its performance. So we're not going to give this an official Poseidon score, but if we were to, this would be how it would stack up. Starting with accuracy, it earns a 9 out of 10. It's not quite as accurate as, say, a Scott Sector for those really in-close shots, but it really blows everything out of the water for those longer distance casts. Up next is components, and as we discussed, this rod is absolutely top-notch, and it earns a 10 out of 10. Up next is distance and power, and this is a powerful, fast rod, and it earns a 10 out of 10 for distance. Up next is the grip, and it's got true quadruple A floor grade cork. We really try to make it the absolute best cork you could get, and it's also a super comfortable grip, and it earns a 9 out of 10. In terms of looks and workmanship, I think this is a fantastic looking rod. Surprise, surprise. I will say that if you're looking at a Tom Morgan favorite or a custom bamboo rod, this is still a production rod, and it earns a 9 out of 10. Up next is swing weight, and at 70 gram meters squared, this is an incredibly light 9-foot 8-weight. The only reason it's not getting a 10 out of 10 is because there are shorter rods out there in the 8-weight class that you can purchase that are going to be slightly lighter, but it's almost not even fair to compare it, so it gets a 9.5 out of 10. Up next is value, and with the Atlas, you're getting top-notch componentry, a graphene blank, which is absolute state-of-the-art, and you're getting that for a $4.99 price point, which is absolutely unheard of, making it a 10 out of 10 for value. And last but not least is the cool factor, and this is a tough one because I think this is the coolest rod that's ever been made, but you probably have not heard of it. So we'll split the difference and give it a 7.5 out of 10. And that leaves us with a total unofficial score of 74, which is the best score ever. But since it's not fair to score it, you won't see this in our table, and we are not calling this a Poseidon score. If you have questions about this new Atlas and how it compares to other rods, give us a call at 888-413-5211 or email us 24/7 at support@tridentflyfishing.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we've got a lot of great rod reviews coming out, and they're going to be way less biased than this one was. I'm Ben. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.